Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Andrea Speaks TV. I'm your host, Andrea, and I'm bringing you commentary you can use. So, before I get started, I want to take a moment to thank all of you for tuning in and subscribing to the channel and supporting the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're here for the first time, welcome. I would like to invite you to subscribe and join our community. If you're someone who, like me, you're concerned with the times, you're concerned about the times that we're living in, you're seeking truth, transparency, solutions, then you may want to join our community. So, again, thank you all so much for your support. All right, this evening's topic, you all know right here on the channel, I have over 150 videos, and I've done some videos and I've talked about the student loan forgiveness. So I have some information to share with you. There are reports that the Biden administration is planning to forgive $10,000 in student loan forgiveness. However, not everyone is happy about this news. So the information I want to share with you on this evening does come from CNBC, as you can see on my screen. And the title of the article says, as Biden administration leans toward $10,000 in student loan forgiveness, advocates push back. All right, so let me bring you some information on that. Now, according to the article from CNBC, the article says advocates expressed anger and disappointment on Friday, this past Friday, in response to news that the Biden administration is leaning toward forgiving $10,000 in student loans per borrower. Now, as I'm reporting the information, I would like to know your feedback. Is $10,000 in student loan forgiveness? Is that enough? Should there be more? Is this a real solution? Do you think that by, possibly forgiving $10,000 in student loan forgiveness, do you think that the administration is really trying to help the American people? I want to know your thoughts, so please make sure you leave a comment. All right. The article continues by saying some Democrats and activists have insisted that President Joe Biden needs to cancel at least $50,000 per borrower to make a meaningful impact on the country's, listen at this, y'all, $1.7 trillion outstanding student loan balance. Okay, let me know if you agree or disagree with this news. Now, the article also says that more than 40 million Americans are in debt for their education, and about 25% of those borrowers are in delinquency or default. Okay, now here's a quote from Thomas Goki, who is the co founder of an organization called Debt Collective, which it says is a national union of debtors. Okay, he was quoted as saying it's an absolute insult. Okay, and he said this is less than what he promised on the campaign. Now, the article says while running for president, Biden had vowed immediate debt cancellation of $10,000 per borrower, and he hadn't said anything about limiting the relief to people who earn under a certain amount. Now, the article, I'm sorry, now the article continues by saying at imposing income caps of $150,000 for individuals and $300,000 for married couples for the relief. Okay, that information comes from the Washington Post. Okay, you all let me know your thoughts on this. All right. The article also says adding red tape to the cancellation program will result in many people missing out on the policy, Goki said, pointing to other government forgiveness efforts that have been plagued by problems. The article says these include the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program and income driven repayment plans, which have so far largely failed to deliver their promised relief. Okay. All right. The Washington Post on Friday matched prior reporting that the $10,000 plan is the Biden administration cancellation plan in the final days of May. Okay. The newspaper, citing three people familiar with the discussion, said the president had hoped to make the announcement as soon as this weekend, but after what happened in Texas, it forced the White House to change the timing. Okay, that is according to the article. Now, the article also continues by saying it's unclear whether the administration will require regular payments to restart at the end of August when the current pause is set to end. Okay, and you all know right here on the channel, at a delay. Okay. All right. So again, y'all, I'm live giving you information updates on the Biden's proposed $10,000 in student loan forgiveness. And so make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would like to hear what you think. Is $10,000 enough? Is this a real solution? Is it really enough to help the Americans, people who have taken on, whatever amount of student loan debt? Will this make a meaningful impact, or do you feel more should be done? Okay. Now, let me continue on with the article. The White House denied to CNBC that it has any set plans to forgive student debt and said it has not made a final decision. Okay, here's a quote by a White House spokesman who told CNBC no decisions have been made yet, but as a reminder, no one has been required to pay a single dime of student loans since the president took office. Okay, apparently, I guess they want us to remember that. Okay, I don't know if they're telling us that to take our minds away from the fact that a lot of people are not happy about the $10,000 being proposed, but we'll see. Okay, now the article continues by saying canceling $10,000 per borrower would cost around $321 billion and completely forgive the loans of about 1/3 of student loan borrowers. It's not clear how the relief would narrow with the income gaps, although one analysis found that around 97% of all student debt was held by those making below the proposed thresholds. Okay. The article continues by saying still the average debt balance is over $30,000 and more than 3 million borrowers owe more than $100,000. Okay. NAACP President Derrick Johnson said $10,000, and I quote, won't do anything for the Black community. Okay. Listen to this, y'all. He also continued his statement by saying the average Black borrower has $53,000 in student loan debt 4 years after graduation, nearly twice the amount as their white counterparts. Okay, that's what Johnson, who again is the NAACP president, said in a statement. Okay, he also said that $10,000 in cancellation would be a slap in the face. Okay, he said. He also said, and I quote President Biden, it's not about whether you can do it, it's about whether or not you have the will to do it. All right, so I think that's a pretty powerful statement. You all know right here on the channel, I've talked about the fact that, I believe, if I am correct, that when we look at, the groups of people who have the largest amount of student loan debt, I do believe that Black Americans, based on my research, are hold the majority of that debt. So you got to think, if according to Mr. Johnson, who is the NAACP president, if he's saying that the average Black borrower has $53,000 in student loan debt, then would $10,000 really make an impact in their overall financial position? Yes, it is something that would help, but it would help reduce the amount of debt, but would it really make an impact? Okay, I personally believe that more should be done. It's very concerning, it's very alarming, in this country where you have a high school student, someone in their 20s who can accumulate a large amount of student loan debt, but when you take that same student and you try to they may want to go to the bank to get a loan to start a business, they can't do that. So, I definitely think there needs to be some changes made. And, it's just something that, I feel like needs to be done. But again, I would like to know your thoughts. This is Andrea from Andrea Speaks TV coming to you all live with another update on Biden's proposed student loan forgiveness. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, thank you all so much for subscribing to the channel. Join our community if you haven't subscribed. And also, you can follow me on Instagram at Andrea Speaks TV. You can follow me on Instagram at Andrea Speaks TV. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Also, you all know right here on the channel, I talk a lot about the need to get your emergency food supply and survival needs. So make sure you check out my website at preparewithandrea.com. Again, you can get your emergency food supply and survival needs at preparewithandrea.com. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's Andrea from Andrea Speaks TV.